committed to carrying out the based on due process. That's not that impossible. First of all, what is happening to my party is what I have predicted before now. That if things are not done in the right way, this is where we're going to find ourselves. No Nigerian will say that they have not, they didn't know what I said. I've said it severally. And that's what I said. Leadership is very key to anything you are doing. Leadership in association, leadership in government. If the leaders do not take the right decision, this is how it's bound to be. And what do everybody? We have had this kind of issue before, when the party did not collapse. Nobody was affected because the leadership was committed to seeing that certain changes are made in order to keep the party going. But when you have a leadership that is not even focused, a leadership that is very selfish, a leadership that does not understand that in politics is different from a business, and so you are bound to see what you are seeing today. And if they correct themselves, obviously, mind you, this is a party that is known in all grassroots. This is a party that is known in all Nigerians. It's not a new party. From 1999, People's Democratic Party had been in power, and unfortunately, in 2015, they lost to the APC and still retained quite a good number of seats. Also, good presence in the National Assembly. We have a leadership that's not focused. We have a leadership that does not even know what to do. We have a leadership that does not even take any suggestions. And that's where we are. So if the leadership is committed and comes back to say, look, we have made a mistake. Why is it that things are happening this way now? What do we do to correct us? You see, it's not just to take over government. You have to position yourself. If the leadership is right, okay, look, by 2027, it's likely that we may not make it. But are we going to allow the party to die? Can't we start to build up? Let us take the right decision against 2031. It's all depends on the leadership. That's all I would say.
Okay, but let's get into it now then. You're sounding like you want unity and collaboration between leadership, but Seyi Makinde is accusing you of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened not too long ago, he mentioned you by name and said in a meeting with the president that you were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that you said to the president that I will hold PDP for you. And then he said that he went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, or this is not what was agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is free not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's a blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Seyi Makinde has never called me Wike. Never. That's the first time I hear him say Wike. He has never called me Wike one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I will hold PDP for you. Why did Seyi Makinde not come up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing? I was in a meeting and see what Wike said. It's not correct. And let me put the record straight. There was no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of Benue State, Otom, the former governor of Abia State, Ibazu, the former governor of Enugu State, Ugwaye, and Seyi Makinde, we went to see president.
That's the G5.
Yes, we went to see president to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. While we were there, the chief of staff, of course, you should know that the chief of staff is always around the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, come and show that we can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a meeting. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you couldn't, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in that meeting, I said to Mr. President, I will hold PDP down for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Yeah. Totally unfair. And you see, I have told everybody, frustration. If you can see, if you watch Seyi Makinde on that media chat, you can see frustration. And this is a young man we have advised severally. Politics is not like being a contractor with Shell. Politics is not like being a contractor with a mobile. It has different rules. It has different. When did Sheyi Makinde come into politics? When did he come into politics? And you see, there's nothing wrong in having ambition, but the ambition must be tailored according to the rules.
Ambition? What do you mean by ambition? Running for president or what?
He has not even had the guts to tell us that he wants to run for president. Let him say that he has told anybody. But we know we are not kids. You see, there are things you can do, and you think that people don't know. People do. They watch you. They follow what is going on. How did PDP enter this crisis? It is Sheyi Makinde's ambition. How do we enter the crisis? He went and arranged with some people to make sure the National Secretary is ousted. He allowed people to go to the State High Court in Enugu. When you know that the State High Court has no jurisdiction over that matter, they got the judgment. No problem. Samayan went to the Court of Appeal. On appeal, Samayan won. We all agreed for the party to move on. Look, convention will be coming. Why not allow this to go on? We have only 1 year. So what are we pursuing? In the convention, you will make sure those who don't want them to come back will not come back. He refused and went to Supreme Court. When he got to Supreme Court, he lost. He still believed that no, Supreme Court said the party has no jurisdiction. Come on, what are you doing? Who appealed to Supreme Court? You and your colleague, you and your cohort appealed to Supreme Court, and you lost. Until when they went to INEC, INEC told them, listen, as far as we are concerned, in our system, the secretary of the PDP is Senator Sam. Right? Now, Saraki will bear this witness. We have met the Saraki's guest staff severally. Fintri, the governor of Adamawa, was there. Bala, the chairman of Governor Forum, was there. Saraki was there. There's nothing you have agreed to do that Makinde will not go and do a different thing. There's nothing. And this is why we are here today. Because, okay, look at even the convention, for example. The Board of Trustees set up a committee to say, look, what do we do? Committee headed by Wike Adamawa, former governor of Osun State, Oyinlola, former deputy governor and chief of staff to President Jonathan Ogedeme, Senator Zainab Kure, and 2 other people came up with a report. Look, let's not go for this convention. Let's set up caretaker committee. The same Sheyi, of course, you know Adolphus Wabara. He has no name. You know he has no name.
But you just mentioned his name.
No, he has no name. That does not mean that that's the name. They don't know what to move as the Senate president was just bribe of 15 million naira. Everybody is aware of that. He went. They now denied and said, oh, the committee was compromised. There are 2 judgments of the Federal High Court, Justice Omotosho and Justice Mitchell. Substantive judgment, not others. Sheyi Makinde, what says frustration can make you do a lot of things that will cause damage. He went to Ibadan State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. State High Court to obtain an ex parte order for them to still go on with that convention. How could an ex parte order override substantive judgment of 2 courts? Of course, he had done his so-called convention. INEC was not there. INEC refused to recognize them. Then, in that same matter, INEC filed a preliminary objection to say that, look, court, you have no jurisdiction over us. Why would we be a party to this? And the court agreed and struck out INEC name. So there was nothing binding on INEC. The same person now had gone to the Federal High Court in Ibadan to recognize them. Recognize the convention we have done. A convention that Federal High Court has said you cannot go ahead and do. You have, after disobeying the court judgment, you now filed at the Federal High Court now in Ibadan. Now look, recognize us as the legitimate principal officers. That has not been settled. He has gone again to file at Federal High Court in Abuja against police until the secretary said we can use. Why not wait for the Federal High Court to say, okay, you are the legitimate principal officer? So the point I'm making is not, look at where PDP is today. Look at the crisis. Something that would have been easily solved. Listen to the voice of elders. Don't go ahead. Let's form caretaker committee. Today, PDP has no candidate in Ekiti State. Today, PDP has no candidate in Osun State. Now, when you say one-party state, who is making us have a one-party state? If you have listened to people and allowed due process to take place, would the issue of one-party state arise? You are the one who is creating one-party state, and yet you are accusing the government of trying to have a one-party state. Just listen to what people have said and follow due process. By now, we wouldn't have been talking about one-party state. Now, having taken wrong steps that is destroying your party, you are now accusing the other party of wanting to have a one-party state. It doesn't make sense.
Excellency, if I may, before Rotus asked that question, leading to Mr. Seyi Makinde's question, chat, my colleague here, right in the middle, I call him BKO. I'm trying to remember his first name. Jide, had raised the issue of the leadership, and you had said that if the leadership of the party doesn't listen, etc., you had also spoken to something leading up to a convention. That you had told them, or there had been suggestions that whatever grounds they had against the the national secretary of the party, should be held up until they entered the convention. So it seemed like all was geared towards this convention, only for us to hear much later that no, there were suggestions that the convention be stepped down. Even you yourself had mentioned that, Mr. Samayan was going to be secretary of the party up until the convention. What made people change their minds about this convention? At what point did the party begin to say, no, we're not going to go ahead to a convention, we're going to, organize a caretaker committee?
Because there are disagreements. People have gone to court to say, look, you can't go ahead with this convention. Why would you not go ahead with convention? So many states have not had their congresses. How will you deny states of participating in the national convention? You have 36 states. About 16 states have not had any congresses. And therefore, they are not eligible to vote in that convention. 16 states. And people went to court and said, no, you cannot do this. Let's follow due process. Take, for example, you want to do zoning. I'm a minister of the Federal Republic. We have senators from the South. What Seyi Makinde did was to call a few people and take them to Lagos and said that, that they have zoned the offices that came to the South. How would you do that? How will you disqualify very prominent members of the party? Is this ambition I'm talking about? Is this ambition? And people say, look, it is not going to be possible. If things are not done correctly, this is where it's going to lead us. And that was why they now formed this elders committee to look into the matter and bring us suggestions on the way forward.
Were all parties agreed to that elders committee?
Of course. When they came to me, I told them because of the respect I have for them. Ordinarily, I wouldn't want to participate because I have respect for them. Look at the old man who's the chairman of the committee, who's done there like 80-something years. Look at the former governor of Osun. Look at Senator Zarab Ekure. And when I told them all this, look, the only way out, if not for selfish interest, let us agree, come together, form a committee so that we'll now take it from there. But if you are going ahead with this kind of convention, where 16 states will be denied the opportunity to participate, and where some people say, look, you went and took form without allowing people collecting funds to participate, that is leading to crisis. And that's why I say, look, the way you run your business is not the way you run a party. Party is a different thing. It's not about you have money, you're a millionaire. No. It's a different ball game.
Yeah,
but you have to be careful.
But there are other elders in the party.
Yes.
Someone like Senator, I beg your pardon. Yeah, he was a senator, George, of Lagos State. I'm trying to remember his. Bode George
yes.
of Lagos.
Yes.
Who announced? Who was at that convention and who announced your expulsion from the party?
So you see, that's why again, people like Bode George have nothing to contribute to this party. Since 1999, Bode George was the deputy national chairman of PDP. Has PDP ever won in Lagos? Since 1999, you claim as a leader.
They've won seats.
No.
In the House of Reps.
What is winning? We're talking about Lagos State. That you win one seat for how many years? Since 1999 till now. The only thing is, oh, PDP is strong. You use the PDP is strong based in River State. We will produce anything you want to produce based on another state. But in your own state, you are not able to win anything since 1999. So how can you allow such a person to begin to dictate to the party? You see, party means that what can you contribute? As I sit here, as a PDP member, and anybody who knows my position knows my position, who said, if you don't do this right, we will not support this. I will support the president. However, in the National Assembly, governorship, and state assembly, PDP won. That means we have something to contribute. You, every day, come out on national television to talk because you have no job again. So when you say people like Bode George, he's an old man, yes, but was more relevant.
And he supported your agreement that there must be, how do I put it now, that the presidency must go to the South.
I have always canvassed that.
Yes, at that point, was he relevant to you or not?
No, it has nothing to do with supporting that the president must go to the South. It has, relevant is what you contribute from your state to give to the party. It's not that you said the presidency must go to the South. Okay, having said so, what will happen in your state? If the presidency goes to the South, then we'll fail in your state or won't have anything of what is relevant simply because you said presidency should go to the South. If you mean that presidency should go to it will mean that you have to work in your state for us to actualize it.
To deliver.
Okay, to deliver. If you cannot deliver, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, Your Excellency, there is now a 13-member caretaker committee led by Abdurrahman to manage the affairs of the party for the next 60 days.
Yes.
But under the constitution of your party,
Yes.
sections 29 and 31 of the constitution of your party vests that power in the neck. Under which authority was this particular caretaker committee set up?
That was neck. Mind you, at the so-called Amala Convention that was held in Ibadan. Of course, people want to go and eat Amala. So that's why I call it Amala Convention. That I had it. Remember, the chairman of the party then had already abdicated, right? Those of them who believed in that convention had already abdicated. Now, the national secretary, the legal advisor, the deputy national legal advisor, the organizing secretary, and some of them are still members who said our tenure will expire December 9th. I'm a member of NEC. So NEC met and said, look, we cannot allow a vacuum. There cannot be a vacuum. Because if I allow a vacuum and their tenure expires, who will not parallel the affairs of the party?
Was there a quorum?
Of course. No, but nobody has anybody come to challenge that there was no quorum. So, as it is today, in fact, we are even going to sue INEC. We are going to sue INEC. INEC has no choice but to recognize the caretaker committee. They have no choice. They have no choice because their tenure having expired. You don't expect that there will be no caretaker to run the affairs of the party. I remember that we have said we must obey court judgment. We must obey. Having obeyed the court judgment, who said there should be no convention, and the tenure was going to expire on the 9th. Of course, it's natural that NEC had to sit and say, look, let us now appoint caretaker committee that will now run the affairs of the party till when the convention is now held. And the committee was set up, and they were told that it should take all steps to see that those states that have not had their congresses will go ahead and hold their congresses. Thereafter, there will be a national convention. Right. So, as it is today, the appropriate authority that can talk about PDP is the caretaker committee. These are the people who came up for the Amala Convention. Of course, they've seen it. They are not recognized. And INEC has said it. But the mistake INEC is making is that to say, oh, there's no committee. We wrote to INEC that NEC is going to take place. We wrote to INEC. And until decisions will be taken. And decision was taken. And caretaker committee was set up. And you cannot allow that. No, it's not done anywhere.
Okay, first
Honorable Minister, one of the most significant developments in that 2023 election cycle was the formation of the G5 governors in your party.
Yeah.
And Governor Makinde was a prominent member of that team. Now there's a political break in that your group. One of the things he said during his media chat, which trended, was that when he was when you were still in law school, he had already made $1 million. That also suggests that perhaps your political disagreement is now turning into something personal. So can you shed a bit of light on your political or personal relationship with
Well, it's most unfortunate. I didn't come to talk about money. If he had $1 million, I thank God for that. And at least my sister is also enjoying that $1 million. If my sister enjoying that $1 million, I'm also enjoying. But with due respect, that's why I say frustration. I ran for the presidential primary of PDP. I didn't say she used 1,000 naira in my primaries. I never saw it one day. Two, it's only in Nigeria I have seen where somebody was awarded a job of $1 million. He made profit of $1 million. And nobody's talking about it. I just saw him one day. He brought a document that he made, that he was given $1 million contract. And again, he made profit of $1 million. I pray to Almighty God that one day too, I will have a job of $10 billion and make profit of $10 billion.
That means we won't do the contract.
That's what it has shown. That's what it has shown. But let us not be petty. I had my first degree early, before 1990, I had my first degree. Law was my second degree. That time he was talking about 1999. I was chairman of one of the most important local governments in this country. I have never been a contractor. He chose to be a contractor. I choose to have power, and I had the power. Remember, he was here doing contract with Shell. In fact, he comes. I didn't know he was going to marry my sister anyway. So, oh, my vehicles have been impounded. Please help to release my vehicle. That is power. That's government. I was in government. He has to do the business according to the rules I've set in the LGA. So, what is whether you make $1 million? But you also forgot. The same man that had no $1 million, first of all, Sheyi, in 2007, ran under AMPP as senator. He lost. He lost. Sheyi in 2013-14, Munikat Adiola, former leader of the House of Reps, one Senator Jose, we call him Alidoya, they all brought Monero. brought Sheyi to me
Right now.
to give him the structure of PDP in Oyo State. The man who had no $1 million, he had $1 million. But he came to the man who had no $1 million to help him to get structure. We said, no, we will not give you. We gave it to Taslim. He went to SDP to run as governor. He failed. He failed, which is $1 million. He failed. Now, it was before 2019, he came back. We said, okay, now, we are ready to give you structure. I was already grounded in politics. I was grounded, but I had no $1 million with me. But the man who made $1 million is going around looking for people who help him to have a structure. It's the one who gave him that structure that Sheyi became governor in 2019. Now, when you talk about G5, you see, G5 was formed on the basis that, look, we said the South, President Buhari hasn't had 8 years. It is natural that the presidency should go to the South. Of course, that's why I say, when you play game, sometimes it boomerangs. People like Atiku and the rest of them thought they were too smart. They now took the chairman of the party, led by one another crook. One, they call him Dr. Ayu. Yeah, he knows. He can't sue me. I've said it severally. This is not the first time.
Yeah, but for the fact that you are on national television, not just one channel,
no, but everybody
so
knows
many
I have
networks.
said it more than 20 televisions.
Yeah, but you can't call somebody a
No,
crook
but let him
without...
sue me. No, but he took bribe from Atiku in Lagos.
That's another one.
No, let him. He knows now. What is that? Look. We know ourselves. We know ourselves. I mean, for me to say this, he should know that he should have sued me to court up to now. He can't. But anyway.
Your Excellency,
no, let me finish.
Are you saying crooks know themselves? Is that what you're saying?
If they're a thief, don't you know yourself? A thief should know himself that he's a thief.
But are you a crook? Because you said he's a crook.
You
You said he's a crook. We know ourselves.
No, the point I'm making, we are in the same party. We are politicians.
Okay.
We know ourselves. We know who is who.
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
Because people would think ourselves.
Those who would think that are those who already have something in mind. You know, what I'm saying is that we're in the same party, we are the same politicians, we know who is who. So, we say, look, you cannot have chairman at the same time have the presidential candidate. Like Sheyi said, we had several meetings in London, where even when we agree with Atiku, before he came back, they changed their mind. It's okay. If he does not resign and allow the South to produce a chairman, then there'll be a problem. Of course, you know that time, they had this belief that President Buhari was supporting them. So for them, everything you said, we have already won the election. We said, we are not going to support you. And we will not support you. And PDP failed. It's not that we're happy, but let there be justice. Let there be fairness in whatever we're doing. So, G5net, let me tell you one thing that you should know. When we agreed on this, Sheyi's problem was the issue that he was not giving ministerial slot. Even when he was saying, you can see the anger. You can see the anger. You don't need to tell anybody. We told him this. Calm down. We went to that. That's one of the issues why we went to see President. To say, look, sir. And President said, look, I'm the president of this country. Just take it easy. There are certain factors I may not have considered. However, something has to be done. Made that. But again, already he has made up his mind. So this issue of, in fact, I remember now, there was a time the Rivers Ijo had a reception for me in Port Harcourt here. So when autumn, that was just to bring you back. When autumn, the former governor of Beirut, they went to speak. He said that, look, we are going to support president to do second term. Sheyi Makinde, now, in Wednesday, replied on page of this paper that why would you say such a thing. I called him. I said, even if he says so, you don't need to go ahead. All he will say, let's call it meeting. This statement you made, it's too early to have made it. For you to do this, you are showing as if there's a division amongst us. Like I said, frustration has come. And sometimes too, and you know, having made that $1 million early, he reacts. So because when he looks back, he sees the letter of $1 million dollar. He forgot that Dangote was not the first person who made $1 million, but today he's the richest man in Africa. You know.
Could it be possible, sir, that all along, for a very long time, at different instances, Governor Makinde had shown to other members of the G5 that his own political interest, his own political future was completely different from that of the members of the
We started
G5?
noticing the, like I said, when we met in Lagos, George's Hotel. We've met in West Scouting, where I used to stay. We have met in his house. We said, look, you are the governor we have now. Whatever that is going to happen in the governors forum and the caucus meeting, let us know so that before we go for such meeting, we'll be able to know what to do. He never one day, and that's how we came to realize that he's behind removing Senator Samayan was to make sure he achieves the total control of the party. It was when we now saw that, look, this guy has a different thing in mind. And for us, I've asked him one day, listen, if you are going to run for president, tell us. We are the ones here that are going to make it happen. I'm not going to run because it would be unfair for me to run and stand in an election against the person who has appointed me. I mean, at least I have conscience. Even though people were rumoring, oh, the council of Wike is going to run, you know, those kind of things. Now, and I told him this. I want the South to see me tell the president. But if you run now, how would you not think that you will do only one time? Will you go and negotiate with them that you will do one time? It's not going to work.
And would they trust you?
How would they trust you? Because you know, once you have the power, it's a different thing. So they will prefer for the president to even finish the 8 years than you to come and do 4 years and then later you break that you want to do second. Let us. This has to be planned well. You have to be careful. But like I said, money can make you not to see well. You know, the kind of money the governors have now, we never saw it. That's why most of them make mistakes. They think everything is about money. When they look this way, look at money that has come. In all my life, as governor for 8 years, I have never received a refrigeration account throughout 1 year. I've never received more than 200 million naira. Never. The records are there. This one now, you see, don't you wonder, even states, when you thought that are now making budget of 1.something trillion. Why? Because the removal of the subsidy by the president, which was a bold step, has now made money available to the states. And so most of them are blindfolded. And I tell people, money has its own limitation. Money has its own limitation. It's not everything. People say money is everything. No. The areas money can go. But goodwill can go. Goodwill can go. So it's not everything that you think money will work. No. And you know Nigeria, it is unfortunate. Now that Nigerians know so much money are in the States, so many Nigerians are very smart. to see that they have their own share from the cake. Yes.
But
If
Your
I had the
Excellency,
kind of money they have now,
you know the value is not the same thing, though.
what is value? What is value? I mean,
Rotus can tell you what the value is.
Excuse me. Let us not use this exchange rate and this and that. I don't care about that. What if I have today, whatever you may say, I have 500 billion naira in the state account, or I have 500 billion naira in FCT today? You will not believe what I will do with it. How much do I get in the FCT? I get 1% of the share that federal government gets. Take, for example, if federal government gets 1 trillion, 1% of 1 trillion is 10 billion naira. That is not enough to pay salary. What do? I go back. Entirely generated revenue. So, but look at what has happened in Abuja. So it's not a matter of value. People, that's the argument. People come up with, oh, you know, what's the exchange rate of this? That's rubbish.
Honorable Minister, I know you are going to open a vista which will enable Rotus to begin to take us in the line of silly deals, real estate, and all of that. But before we get there, still on this Seyi Makinde, we've had through one of your close confidants, although not a member of the G5, but somebody very close to you, former governor of Ekiti State, who actually said that the real reason you went to the villa for that G5 meeting was about Governor Seyi Makinde, and it had to do with persuading the president to assist Oyo State over the bombings that took place at that time. Is that correct? And actually, that it was
Passion was not did not go with us. What we went to see President for, with all due respect, is look, Seyi is getting too,
confrontational.
Too confrontational, and I say it's not necessary. Let's go and see President. There's no need you challenge the president because you didn't get this. There are other things you will get. And good president to be, yes. There are other things you will get. But, you know, like I said, because he has got to be spared. You know, what baffles me, Seyi said that I told President I will hold PDP for you. Okay, assuming, though not considering, assuming I said so, assuming. In Yoruba land, Seyi knows that the president is a bomb. It's not correct.
Is an elder person.
I'm not a Yoruba person. I feel it. And there was such a meeting. Is that what can come out in the public? I'll say that somebody who is not for Yoruba is saying that, look, sir, I'm going to help you to hold PDP for you to win the election. I said, assuming, even though nothing like that. Me who said that, I've not gotten the kind of support Seyi got from the president. I have not gotten one approval of that. But Seyi went to president. The same man he is talking about that did not give him minister project. Let's say you come and say, what I don't like in people is time to say, show evidence. It's not the issue of show evidence. Seyi Makinde, can you look up to God and say, you did not apply to president for a grant of 50 billion, which the president approved for you? Can you, in your conscience, say so? You know, you did not. Can you, in your conscience, say you did not collect such money? You know, everything will like to politicize it. You said, I told president, I'm going to hold PDP for you. Me, that's holding PDP for president, I've not gotten any such grant. You, that you are angry. You have gotten such a... But the point is that you can be helped through several ways. And one of such ways, the president looked at it, I will support you with this, with this, with this, with this. And that's why you think that that's not enough for you. And so, it baffled me, I will not lie to you. Because if such a thing took place, I would have told you, yes, It never took place. Go and inquire from autumn. In fact, they all called me when they had this thing. They said, what kind of rubbish is this? How can he say that I went for a meeting and then I said this? In any case, who does not know my position as regards to Tribu's president? Do I need to tell him that? Nigerians have had me say severally, I'm going to support president. So how would I now go and tell him, President, don't worry, I will hold down PDP for you? It doesn't make sense.
Let me ask this question quickly before we go on our break. Is it such a bad thing for the president to give Seyi Makinde a ministerial slot? Remember, his supporters, the candidates of the PDP lost the National Assembly elections because he was working for the president's candidacy. So people voted APC, top to bottom. So now what Seyi Makinde and his people are saying is that out of all of them, the G5 that came together, you are the one who has been benefiting tremendously from the president. Others have been fed nothing except the ambassadorial appointments that they gave a couple of them the other day. So is this such a bad thing for somebody, for the president to say, Seyi, you helped me, you delivered Oyo State gave more votes to the president than other states in the southwest. So is this such a bad thing to give him that minister?
No, see, it is a bad thing. Let me tell you. When he said that PDP lost because he was working for president, why didn't PDP lose in Rivers State because he worked for president? Who took out the National Assembly seat? The president won. It's not the same election. That is not correct. Remember, the president also is a Yoruba man. There's also that sentiment that we have to vote for our own. It's there. It's there. So it's nothing to do with because you work for president. That's how you lost out in National Assembly. It's not correct. If that is the issue, then we would have also lost out in National Assembly here. We went to the same election. We told our people, vote for president, National Assembly, don't vote for APC. And we achieved it. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong in president giving you ministerial slot. But mind you, he's a president. There are things you don't know that he knows. If the president has called you and said, look, listen, there are other things. When he said me benefit, what did I benefit? The benefit is that the position that will come to Rivers State, take for example, Wike, National Population Commission, will it be given to anybody other than Rivers people? That is the outcome. The position that will go to NDDC, Rivers State must be represented. Will it be given to, because you're a G5, you go and give it to somebody from Oyo? No. No. As a minister, I have a duty to also make sure those of them who were all together also benefit in other ways. It's not only appointment. Like I said, why did the president give such an approval if the president does not mean well for him?
But you benefited the Treasury single account, which...
What is my benefit of single? Using my money that I said, President, look, if you want anything to improve in FCT, pull us out from single treasury. What is the essence of single treasury account? We are not revenue collector for the federal government. So why should we be a single treasury account?
Appointment that
so
the president
it's not personal to me. It's for FCT to move on. And they have seen the benefit. So when you say I benefited, what did I benefit? It's the resident for me to do my job, which I'm doing today. If we are still in a single treasury account, it would have been difficult to carry out some, because at that time we don't have we can't go to bank to borrow. Because the bank will say, what is the collateral? The money will not go to them. You go to central bank. But now, with putting out of single treasury account, we have access to go to the bank to solicit. We will deposit our IGR, collect social amount of money from IGR every month. Give us this loan to be able to carry out our infrastructure. So that is the benefit. It has nothing to do with personal. No. No.
All right, we're going on a break shortly, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
just
Rotus,
just five quick
will,
minutes. Yes.
yeah.
So, Your
The
Excellency,
minister is talking about.
yes, we're still on Shea Makinde.
Yeah.
Just so I want to clarify if Shea Makinde, from your perspective, is someone who can be trusted, right? You've said he's lied about the meeting.
Yeah.
The $1 million seems like it's an exaggeration. You've mentioned the amount of money the states have made from hydro after the subsidies were removed, right? 2.4 trillion last year to 3.6 in or 2.20 2024. All the states have benefited. Now, former governor of Ekiti State, Fayose, said that Makinde misappropriated those funds. The Oyo State chapter of the ADC has come out to say that they should account for the money. His aide in his cabinet came out to say that it was actually, I think, about 30 billion that had been disbursed, and so far they've disbursed about from the government, and then they've disbursed about 4.5 or so. Can he be trusted on the use of these funds from the government?
Well, I have no power. It is the people there. First of all, if such money, whether it is 1 billion naira, was given to you by Mr. President, approved by Mr. President, you owe a duty to tell your people, see what President has done for us, and I will appropriate it and make sure it is put in the budget for people to know we are getting this money from based on the promise Mr. President has made, right? But you see, it's unfortunate people didn't know. Now, because of this incident, people are like, but you collected so money. And then his aide is going to say, no, it's only 30 billion. Fine. Whether it's only 30 billion or 1 billion, did you tell all your state people that Mr. President, by his own magnanimity, approved this for you? So it now behoves on your people to say whether such a person can be trusted or not. Well, if I don't trust, am I going to vote? Yeah. No. But if you say politically, as we concern political relationship, I'll be afraid. And you know, one thing with me, I need to ask anybody. That's why it's difficult to have long-standing relationship with me. Why? I hate anything that has to do with distrust. I hate anything that has to do with, look, I'm doing something, and I say, look, me and Mgbeke have agreed on this thing. And then I see the statement guys taking, which is not in tandem with what we have agreed. I have to be very careful with such a narrative. Okay. In fact, to work in the situation, to even go and lie. It could have been if you have even said, we, well, that's what I'm discussing. I said so. Well, I was okay. But to say that we had a meeting with the president, first of all, who are those in that meeting? He said, Chief of Staff, in salary. He didn't mention former governor of Abia. He didn't mention former governor of Benue. He didn't mention former governor of Enugu. What was the purpose of that meeting? Who called for the meeting? The president called you for the meeting. We went and said, look, we want to see president. And president said, okay, come to the house. We went to the house, as usual. And he said, look, sir, we are still available. We'll still work together. So what is the issue of saying that we had a meeting?